and welcome to Senate retirement. I am the vice chair, standing in for Chairman Rick Williams. He could not make this one for another issue, and so we're going to get started. We're a little bit running late. We have a member I've already asked to say our prayer this morning. If you will, Senator McLaren. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Quickly, we'll bless the meeting. Lord, please look out for us as we make decisions today with the authority that's vested, not just in this committee, but with all the people who have come to help us make the right decisions. May we work together collaboratively and in good faith to arrive at the best decisions for Georgia citizens. And I guess that'll do it. Thank you, Lord. Amen.
Thank you, sir. We hope that gets up there. General blessing for all. All right. I think some of these we have heard. We're going to ask Representative Taylor. We're going to kind of change our agenda because she too has a busy day and needs to get to another one. And so we're going to keep that, try to help her. And Representative Taylor, I'm going to put you on the speaker, and you tell us what good news you bring for us.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the committee. I bring you great news, and this is something actually that you've heard before. I had this bill last year, and I believe your chairman has a similar bill. This is House Bill 317, and it has to do with the State Employees Retirement Program. There's an older program that, when it was first written, the code it was written in, did not allow a funeral home to have an assignment of benefits to pay them for the funeral services. What's happened is funeral homes are not being paid. We have a group of retirees. This is an older plan. I think there's about 60,000 people still on it. And it's unusual. Insurance policies, I frankly had never heard of one that did not accept an assignment of benefits. And I realize it's in a retirement program, but the obligations of the retirement end. At the point that an employee dies, the beneficiary they have indicated it's their money at that point. If they choose, and it's voluntary, to sign the assignment to pay the funeral home, then I think we should honor that assignment. And that's all this bill does. It allows the funeral homes to be paid directly from the pension plan. It's actually an insurance product that is inside the pension program. And that's what the bill does.
Okay, any questions?
Any questions?
Senator.
Thanks, Mr. Chairman, and good to see you, Representative.
Good to see you.
Is there, off the top of your head, do you know what, if any, differences there are between your bill and the chairman's version of this bill?
I don't think there's anything. This is the same bill I carried last year, and I think he used that same bill.
We're just parking as many vehicles as we can at Sine Die, is what it
Yes.
sounds like. Okay, great.
Yeah.
Thank you, Representative.
Thank you.
All right, any other questions in that? Okay. If you will, we have one person to speak
Sure.
in opposition, Jim Puffin. And so we're
Should I leave here or stay here?
You can, if you want to sit next to him, it's fine with me.
Does he want to sit next to me?
Okay, we just can't have any contact. Okay.
Thank you.
Madam Chair.
All right. Thank you, Jim.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. And thanks for allowing me to speak. You have heard my comments before on the bill that came through here before. I just want to reiterate briefly. We have some concerns about downstream risk with this particular bill. Number one, the obligation of the retirement system does not end when the person dies. It ends when the money has been properly dispersed. In that vein, we're concerned that the contract, the employment contract with the individual with whom we have made that contract, namely the member, is at risk of being violated by the assignment of some portion of the benefit to somebody that the member themselves did not choose, i.e. the beneficiary themselves. That's concern number one. Concern number two is a downstream risk that this opens up the potential that this could be the first of many industries or requesters that want to take advantage of an assignability provision. Once we have granted one, I am unclear on how we could stop others. And as we know, some of those businesses, and I do not obviously include the funeral home business in this comment, but some of those businesses do not have what I would consider savory or ethical business practices, and I do not wish to open up the retirees to that level of risk. So I just want you guys to be aware of those risks as you vote. Thanks.
Thank you, sir. Senator Davenport, you have a question for him. Or do you-
I do. Thank you very much,
Open it
Mr.
up.
Chairman. I think before, Jim, you brought that up, especially the second item that you just talked about, the risk of others coming. But I think the state of Georgia, we should have lawyers to take care of that.
Well-
I think, just because the morticians have that, I just don't see that every creditor out here will come to the state of Georgia to try to get money.
Why would they not?
Well-
Why would they not? Look, this bill doesn't do that, okay? I want to be clear. I am not saying that this bill allows for that. What I'm saying is this bill, the passage of such a bill, creates a precedent for others to make the same request. And I'm wondering how you or your successors can sit in a committee or on the floor and say no to somebody else when you've said yes to these folks. It is unclear to me how that would happen.
Oh, I see. Mr. Chairman, may I just follow up? My concern is that the morticians have told me that they live in the community, especially elected officials, they live in the community with these people all the years, especially retirees, and they feel that they deserve a good burial, and that's what they have provided. And then the family said that, they will assign to the mortician and make sure that they're paid, and then they change their mind. And I have seen in the community where the young people will say, my parents said they want a good burial, but, I need some money, so I'm gonna cremate them, when the plot is right there for them. So I just think that they need a good burial there. And I think that if the state of Georgia, I don't know if we're setting a bad precedent or not. I just don't see where we might be, but I don't think so. So I just want to voice that, Mr. Chairman.
I'm number 3, but I can't get my light to come on. There it goes. All right, thank you, Mr. Chairman. If you don't mind, Mr. Chairman, I have a few questions for both Mr. Potvin and Chairman Taylor. So in the private sector, and I assume in the retirement plan, the owner of the policy, or in this case, the retired state employee, while they're still alive, they can assign benefits. Is that correct? I mean, could they,
They choose a beneficiary, yes.
but they can't do a collateral assignment of benefits from,
I'm not clear on the difference that you're trying to draw there.
well, in the private business, you have beneficiaries, but you might also have a bank or a finance company or somebody, and that's called a collateral assignment of benefits, which is a limited assignment of just what's owed to them, and then the rest of it would go to the beneficiaries.
In our case, I would suggest that it is allowable for an individual to have multiple beneficiaries at whatever percentage they deem appropriate. They can do 2/3 to one, 1/3 to the other, or whatever is an appropriate.
Okay, so that kind of leads to my next question. If we were to pass this legislation, and I voted for it when the chairman of this committee presented it, but I certainly have tremendous respect for you and don't take your concerns lightly, so I want to be careful here today. What if you have multiple beneficiaries? What will be the duty and how will you sort that out if this were to be the law? Would you have to get all the beneficiaries to agree?
No, each beneficiary has a separate interest. Right, so if it's 66 and 33, then if one of the two beneficiaries wishes under this bill to make an assignment, then we can honor that. It wouldn't have anything to do with the other beneficiary.
Okay. So I think that really is all my questions. I'm kind of surprised you don't have that collateral assignment of benefit thing too. And I think, one more question, Mr. Chairman. Didn't you tell us this really was not a death benefit the other
Well,
day, or am I getting confused with
It is a
something?
death benefit, but it is also a retirement benefit in a way that
It's not really a life policy, or you said something that was,
We call it group term life insurance, okay? It is a death benefit, but it is entangled. It is created out of Title 47. It is not in the insurance code, and therefore it is subject to some different rules.
thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Quick question. I mean, say that somebody, does assign this says to a licensed funeral director. What happens if that person passes away or the funeral home's no longer in business? Or what, I mean,
I believe under this bill, what would happen is that would all happen more or less in real time. What you're asking me is under a beneficiary designation? Yeah, that's a problem. I won't deny that. If you assign a beneficiary, if a member assigns a beneficiary and it's a funeral home and they use a different funeral home, then that would be, you've found a possible problem with that arrangement.
thank you.
Senator Harrell?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. If I remember from your presentation before, what kind of convinced me that this situation is really different than other situations that could come before us later, and if, like your scenario, if we vote for this, then we have to vote for the others, is I think I remember you saying that in some of these communities, there's like only one mortician, and this was happening where the bill wasn't paid so much that the morticians or the funeral homes were not wanting to do business with
Correct.
retirees, so then they would not have a way.
That's correct.
Yeah, and so that to me is kind of the motivation that feels different from other possible scenarios, maybe.
If I could say, this is very, very narrowly written. It is just funeral homes. And I do believe there is a law, a statute in Georgia, that you can't assign a regular, you cannot make a funeral home the beneficiary. They can be an assigned, but I don't believe, because then you could have them out there selling policies and writing themselves as beneficiaries. I think they can be, there's a big distinction between an assignment of a benefit and a beneficiary. And there's some laws out there about funeral homes actually being the full beneficiary. So they can be an assigned and give the money, and that's the way most life insurance is. And I do feel like this does not breach Title 47 because it actually, the money belongs to the beneficiary once the employee has passed away. It's their funds, and they should be able to direct it. Thank you.
I'm in search of an appropriate time for a motion. Mr. Chairman, I would move that we do pass the bill LC 43 2562. Oh, wait, that's the wrong one. Excuse me. Yeah.
No, 317.
You would think I would make the right motion. LC 43 2612. That's my motion.
That's HB 317, LC 43 2612.
Correct.
And I have a second. Okay. Any other discussion? None? Okay, all in favor, raise your hand. All opposed?
Thank you. I'm off to save the Okefenokee. Thank you.
Chairman Taylor,
Thank you.
we were told this morning that with the Senate has passed 55 House bills, and the House has passed 6 Senate bills. So this might have to sit on rules for a while till that number gets.
Deliver that message for us if you would, please.
I will. I'll see you later.
Thank you.
All right, let's see. Representative Franklin, is that correct? And you're bringing to us HB
285, yes, sir.
285, okay. And that's LC 2562, correct?
I believe so. Well, thank you, Mr. Chairman and members of the committee. I believe this is going to be a very easy bill. I hope at least
Oh,
for the
okay.
good.
You're coming from the House, though, that's
Yeah.
only heard a limited number of our bills, so you know you gotta do something here.
This will make you famous. This is a good for the hardworking men and women of Georgia. So hopefully we can get it done. But anyway, this is for the employment retirement systems investment fund to be able to raise their ceiling in alternative investments from 5% to 10%. They've looked at it over 9 years, and they determined that basically that alternative funds, which is private equity, is gaining about 18% return on investment compared to 10 with their current investment with S&P 500, and they would like the option to be able to extend that if they so desire.
I'm gonna ask, oh, okay, Senator Warren.
10%, I guess, is on line 13 of the bill. ERS is considered a eligible large retirement system because lines 21 through 23 just strike the 5% cap and don't put a cap. So I guess it's capped on line 13. Is that your understanding?
Yes, sir, that's correct. It's already there in the lines that you were referencing in 13, and this bill would just strike that 5% out.
Mr. Chairman, I'll respond to Senator Walker. I'll have the committee know that I ran this through the wash before committee and went to each of these code sections. And if you follow the breadcrumb trail, it goes back to the definition of a large retirement system that includes ERS. And Senator Walker's correct that line 13 is the operative language here that's going to cap it at 10%. All the rest of the language in the code section is just exceptions to that 10% rule. So by striking the 5% exception, you get to 10%.
I was gonna ask, would you define alternative investments for us? Because there may be those that do not understand that. How about that?
I will. So in this case, it's private equity. But if you look at the broad sense of alternative investments, you could include commodities, gold, silver, these kind of things. Real estate is actually in that definition, but the ERS is prohibited to invest in real estate. So with this bill specifically, it would be a private investment, and what they're currently doing now. And from my understanding is that's all the other systems as well, the teachers and all the other different retirement systems are all doing private equity.
Okay, okey doke. Any other questions?
Mr. Chairman, I've got to go across the street for a hearing, so I feel like now is the time to make another motion. And I really want to get it right because I don't want to be wrong saying I move to pass LC 432562. So that's the motion.
You did well.
Thank you.
And identify that, so we have a motion from you, is that what I understand? I have a second from Senator Goodman. From that standpoint, all in favor, raise your hand. Okay, all opposed, if you raise your hand, you're in trouble, okay. And who's gonna handle this for you on the side?
Well, Mr. Chairman, I was hoping that you might.
You would like for me to handle this, I will do
Yes,
that.
sir.
Okay, all right, very good. We want Senator McLaurin to get across there. We'll look both ways before you cross the street. We don't want to lose you.
Thank you.
Very good, we are dismissed.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.